say this is a big rich town. I just come from the poet's part. Bright light, city life, I gotta make it, this is where it goes down. I just happen to come up hard. Legal or illegal, baby, I gotta make it.
I never took a straight path. No.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to another edition of Power After Hours, your favorite Power TV podcast. We're here to review Season 4, Episode 2. Things are going to get worse. I am joined by Miss Chrissy Bree. Chrissy, what's going on?
What's going on, sir?
Things are getting worse.
Being politically correct, yeah. Things are getting worse.
He said, yes, sir. Well, actually, I'd like to discuss the latest episode of Power.
I hit you with a hashtag, well, actually,
Yeah,
calm
right.
down.
Oh, man. Yeah, it looks like if you thought things couldn't get worse for Ghost, they got worse. Like, this is the most literal headline or a literal title to an episode you could get. So just getting right into it, Ghost, he gets denied bail. He's still getting beat down by the COs and everybody. He's going through it. I thought that opening scene was crazy, just to give you a sense of what he's going through.
Oh, God, yeah. The blood in the urine, I was like, yo, dog, like, that's when you know it's real. Like, they are beating his ass, and he's just taking it. He's taking it.
Right, and that's the whole strategy behind him still keeping up the James St. Patrick persona.
Right.
He shouldn't be able to fight back. He shouldn't be a badass. He should just be a rich club owner who's in jail for a crime he didn't commit and acting as if he's never been around that criminal element before, which is ironic because he hasn't been to jail, but he's probably one of the biggest criminals in that joint. And it's crazy to see him depowered like that to an extent, where throughout the whole series, you wonder what his genuine emotions are. Mm-hmm. Does he really feel this way about Tasha? Is he really in love with Angela? Does he feel pain? Is he more monster than man? And throughout this whole ordeal, you're seeing cracks in his armor. That scene when him and the kids are there and they're visiting him, and he's just like, yo, telling Tariq he got to be the man of the house, and just talking to them like, I didn't do it. I don't want you to see me in that way. Where, with Tariq, the veil's kind of been dropped a little bit and he completely hates him. And the daughter's probably the one that still feels like, yo, that's my dad, and he can't do any wrong. But you see throughout this whole episode, he's a shell of what he once was. And whether that's by design or by the actual effects of the jail, this ain't the confident, braggadocious, suave Ghost that we're used to.
He's broken. He's a broken man. Like you said, when he was the scene with his kids, I think what really got me is you could see the hurt in his eyes, the pain. He was on the verge of tears, and it looked like he wanted to say so much more, but he couldn't. And, through the other side of it, you see Tasha's face, and she's just completely fed up. She's completely upset. And can you blame her? You know what I mean? This whole situation is happening because you chose to step out on your family. That was your decision. You did it on your own to live this fairy tale that we all knew was never going to work. And I think that's the most frustrating side for her. He's now, I think, starting to realize that. I think it's starting to kick in that what the fuck did I do? Like, why did I do that? He has so much time to think now, and it's painful to watch him go through that. Like, I he's done a lot of wrong, but this is the one thing he did not do. And I hate to see him sit there and have to second guess all the moves he's made and everything he's done because of a stupid mistake that he made.
Shout out to for sidebar. Shout out to Power bringing back the third child.
Oh, yo, I was like, yo, she grown. What happened to the girl that choked on the keychain?
Who knew being that close to death would allow you to age quicker?
Golly, I was like, who is that? I thought she brought her cousin with her. I forgot they had a third kid. I literally forgot because they never show Tasha with that kid. Never.
Yeah, well, I was thinking about it when I saw. I was like, "Who is this? Who is this light baby? Who is this
Like, is this
toddler
a
on her?"
cousin that's
Right.
visiting
You
for
know,
the weekend?
we going to go see Uncle Jamie in jail. Don't act up. And I'm like, who is that? And then I was like, yo, that's the third child.
That's
Like, I've been
third
searching
kid.
for her name. I forgot the baby's name. Like, I'm thinking about it. I'm like, yo, what is this child's name? I want to find it at some point. But yeah, shout out to them for bringing her back. We'll talk about the
It's
little
like old girl
tidbits.
that went upstairs in Family Matters and never came back.
Um,
Judy. Was
Judy,
her name
yes, Judy
Never
came
came
back
back.
downstairs.
She's back.
Yo, I'm like, yo, that has to be one of the best comebacks in the history of
Child.
TV. Like that tape, I thought they that was like a plot that they were gonna just leave that plot hole alone. Like, yo, nobody care about this baby anyway. Let's just. But you think about it, that was around, I want to say season 2, when that whole choking thing.
No,
So,
that was season 1.
was it season 1?
Yeah, that was like when they were first meeting. Remember, they went to that museum or whatever. Like that was when they first met.
Right.
Yeah.
You're right. So it's been I mean, it's been 3 years. So if she's 4, then that
She
makes
looks
sense.
about 4.
Yeah.
She looks
That makes a whole lot of sense then. So but you wonder, where the hell have they been for the whole episode?
Our daycare, like where's she at?
They sent it to Tasha's mom's house for.
Have her?
Yeah, they sent it to Tasha's mom's house for 2 seasons.
That fast talking mama that always got a problem with everything. I'm surprised they haven't brought her back to be like just to shit on Ghost.
Nah,
because I know it's coming.
Oh yeah. She's dope. Yo, let me tell you, it's so real that I've been looking up and seeing like, yo, what is her name? I can't even find it. Like Wikipedia is even like, bruh.
She hasn't been on there. Like she hasn't had any speaking scenes. So how do you IMDb somebody that hasn't spoken?
That sounds like a riddle. I was about to call you the Riddler. I'm saying here like, how do you do that? I don't know. I can't guess. But I am determined by the end of this podcast. I will find
Good
her
luck,
name.
brother.
I will find you. I will find you, and I will say your name on the podcast.
But all I'm saying is everything I predicted last week in our podcast is starting to come true. Just saying.
Okay, Chrissy Damas, we'll get into it. We'll get into all your prognostications and whatnot that's going on for the episode. You dropping the knowledge, kicking all the knowledge and whatnot. One thing we talked about, the whole dynamic between Proctor and Mak, and how we're getting that whole law and order side of power for them. You could tell first off that they do have history, because when that scene where Proctor was on TV basically making a case through reporters for James St. Patrick, bringing race into it and all that. And when he said, "I can't lose to this cocksucker again," so that made me think that he lost the case to him, or they've litigated against each other but before. So I was like, okay. So when I saw that, I was like, all right, you get the hints. But I loved how they used Proctor and Mak to give us a series rundown of how stupid Angela and Ghost have been this whole series. When they
giving us a narrative,
right? When they both cross-examined them, like a mock cross-examination of what the kind of questions they could expect, where if they were put on the stand, where Jamie's being painted as the enraged lover. It's part of a love triangle, a love triangle. That is what it's called, right? A love triangle. Yeah. Love as part of. I was supposed to say. I was like, do you call it like a love threesome? Is it threesome triangle?
Okay,
but
yeah.
I didn't know. It went and left my mind for a second. But he's a part of a love triangle where he was enraged and he killed Knox. Then Angela was the one that looked even worse, where they're painting her as, yo, you slept with a married man. This is basically what everybody say. You slept with a married man when you were dating an agent. Then you broke up with the married man to get back with the agent. You moved in with the married man when he stole property from you that made you tank a case. And through all of this, you may have done it on taxpayers' dollars.
Like, it's crazy, yo. Like, that's what he said to her. You said you were having an affair on taxpayer dollars.
Yeah,
And she was like, oh, I
yep.
guess so.
Yeah, no, it's fact, and Mock even said if we put her on the stand, all of you guys can get subpoenaed, and under the threat of perjury, you have to confess that y'all all knew that she was dating this dude. So it compromises everybody, which is why he's keeping her away, and which is why she can't testify. And even with Ghost, the reason why he can't testify is because you see Proctor egging him on. You know, this was your reality. You left your wife for this, and all throughout you. That's why you killed Greg Knox. And the telling part was when he said, "I would never kill a federal agent," and Proctor just looked at him and smiled and said, "You mean you would never kill anybody, right?"
Exactly.
You could even see the subtle things that actors do, which what I like. How he just smiled when he said that, like the got you part. I could hear the dramatic Law and Order music when they're getting at them, and they get at it, and it just goes, and he's like, "You mean you wouldn't kill anybody, right, Mr. Patrick?" And then they just look at the jury, and then just walk back to their
Yes. Like, I'm not gonna lie, Jerry Ferrara is killing this role as Proctor. He's so good in this role. Like, I mean, he's done a lot of great things, but this here, like, he's showing a different side of his acting abilities. And just like you said, when he did that smirk, like, it just showed, the realness. Because this whole time, everyone's been saying, yeah, Ghost would never knock a Fed. He would never kill a Fed. And it's like, at some point, you guys have to start saying he would never kill anyone, because it's not just that he wouldn't kill a Fed. He's not supposed to kill any.
right. You're not supposed to kill anybody in that situation, right?
It's like, come on, guys, get it together.
Yeah, you're looking at him, and
Yeah,
you're
it's
just
good, though.
like you're like, fam,
The
you
narrative
meant
was dope.
right.
I loved the scene going back and forth. I thought that was very well. It was executed great. The way they did it, how they kept flipping back and forth, like the camera kept getting closer and closer to their faces. It was very well done, and it just gave us a chance to see what it's going to be like in court.
Right. It was just a good device to use where you're showing where they showed one why both of them shouldn't be on the stand, and it also gave the prosecution it gave them the impetus to switch their focus from the love triangle to tying him to Tommy, who in their minds Tommy is the real Ghost.
Yes, they keep that's what got him off, in a sense, with the whole thing that went down with what was that drug guy's name? What was his name?
Lobos.
Lobos, yeah. So they had to portray him in that light, but that's why the mom kept telling the kids, "You cannot call him Ghost. Remember, you cannot call him Ghost." And when she said that, I'm like, man, Tariq about to fuck this up. Like, I cannot stand Tariq right now. I just feel like at some point he's gonna use that term just to fuck over his father one last time. So I'm just waiting to see how that goes down. But everyone just keeps saying, you can't call him Ghost. You can't call him Ghost. At some point, my fear is that someone's going to slip up.
Well, here's the thing. One, because badass Tariq has been keeping in contact with Kanan, Kanan's coaching him on how to play the situation. He's telling him, visit your father, do what they say. I got something bigger planned for you. So he's telling him, don't drop down or don't do anything stupid, because we got something bigger in store. But to me, that scene is actually a type of a plot hole to me. And the only reason why I say that is, and please correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think that anybody's ever called him Ghost in front of his kids. Like, I don't think he's ever been Ghost to them. Like, they know him as James. They know who he's running for. But I can't. I can't remember. Anybody's listening, feel free to correct me too. I don't think that he's ever been known, like Ghost and him have been one and the same person to his kids. So when she keeps saying that, don't
him Ghost, but I think he has been. I think the mother called him Ghost. I also think Tommy has come by the house and called him Ghost,
like in front of the kids.
Yes, like, because they know how they're always sitting at the dinner table most of the time when Tommy comes through, or like I feel like it's been said in front of them, but they don't call him Ghost, if that makes sense.
Mm.
So I
Yeah.
think that she's just trying to prep them to say, "Hey, be careful," because she calls him Ghost. Like when she calls him, she's calling him Ghost all the time. She's never called him Jamie ever. Tasha has never called him Jamie.
In front of the kids, though.
Yeah, she's never used. No one has ever used Jamie except we didn't even know his name was Jamie until Angela came into the damn picture.
See, that would be something that would get me to like rewatch the first season and start watching other episodes, because I could have swore that, or it wasn't. There's no reason for the kids to call him Ghost. They've
No,
never
they would
called him
never. I don't
Ghost.
think it was that. I don't think she was saying make sure you don't call your dad Ghost. I think what she was saying was if you hear anything about, more so like just don't mention Ghost in front of your father. So if I like maybe like say she's calling him Jamie and the kids would be like, well, who's Jamie? Like, why aren't you calling him? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Hmm.
why aren't you calling him Ghost? You always call him Ghost. Kids are stupid, like in that sense. So they're gonna just say whatever comes to their mind. I think she's just preparing them more than anything.
Got you. Okay. Yeah, that was something that was kind of funny style to me, where yeah, I get it to that extent, but for her to emphasize it, I think it would have been better if it was more so like, yo, if anybody's talking to you about someone named Ghost, don't like ignore it. Like that's
Yeah,
not like don't
I see what
associate
you're
the X
saying.
part, because for her to be like, whatever you do, don't call him Ghost. Whatever you do, don't call him Ghost. Who's called? They've none of them kids have
They call
called
him
him.
Dad.
Yeah, they've called him Dad, or they know him as you always know your parents' name, but you don't get bold
Hmm.
until calling them their name until you get to that age where you jump out the window. You're like, yo, Mark. You're like, who the hell is Mark?
Yeah, who
You know
that
what I
was?
mean? Who you
Yeah,
calling
I
Mark?
think she was more so just preparing them for anything. Like, cause you see how those reporters were outside of Tariq's school. Like,
Right.
what if somebody says something? Like, they just need to be prepared for whatever may come their way. Like, prosecutors, they are real. Like the way that attorneys play the game is dirty, and I think she's just trying to prepare her kids for what they're gonna hear, what they're gonna see, and stuff like that.
Yeah, you see it's getting ugly. They got the TMZ people outside and the paparazzi taking pictures
That
of
scene
her.
was deep though, when
Right.
she was trying to talk to Tariq and that paparazzi interrupted because I wanted to know what she was going to say about Kanan. Because
Right.
I think what Kanan essentially is doing to Tariq is what he did to Ghost.
You think he's like trying to train up his new ghost?
Yes,
I think he's just trying to get another son.
that
Like
too.
that's his new son.
That too. But I think what he's doing is he's pretty much doing the same thing that he did to Ghost. And I think that's what Tasha was about to explain, in terms of the bad friends that Ghost had growing up. That's what she was about to explain.
Hmm.
And then she got cut off.
Right. Yeah, like looking at that, I was just like, oh, okay, like this is real, like it's getting real. And of course, the way that he gets indicted, we we were talking about it last week
Crazy.
with Sandoval. Why didn't he throw away the gun? It was obviously once he heard that
Hmm.
dude got in Ghost got arrested, he was it was to plant. And I know, watching on social media and getting some messages on our accounts, on our Nonstop Culture account, a lot of people were saying that he was going to plant it. He was probably
Hmm.
going to plant it and find a way to plant it.
Yep.
And what was ingenious about it was that when they come in, they asked for the footage, and Dre's like, well, I may have to shut down the security system. They're like, yeah, do it. So when he allegedly shut it down, that's when Sandoval went in, planted the gun in Ghost's office, and then left.
But weren't there other cameras? Didn't that what's his name? The guy who played him all last season, Milan, didn't he have other cameras in that office?
See, that's the question that I had, where I said, one, is that security system tied to those cameras?
I
Are
need to
there
know.
additional cameras that maybe nobody knows about? Because we've always seen. Remember when they were dropping the Aranya cards to show
Yes.
people are getting killed, and he found it,
Yes.
and he saw the person coming into his office. is that a part of Truth's security system or his personal? Because
That's what I'm trying to figure out.
he has feeds in his house. He has feeds everywhere. So does he have another feed where he can check that office and see who dropped it in? So that's a big question to ask. Because if part of that security detail was video, they may have an auxiliary or ancillary system.
It's gonna be Angela that figures it out. If you pay attention every time something is said to her in regards to how Jamie would not do something, it's kind of like a light bulb flicks off in her head. Like even as they're saying things about the things that he's done, she's looking like, man, he would never do that. Like when Tasha comes to the house and says he would never leave a gun at Truth, and Angela in her head, almost a little bit of her is like, you know what? You're right. But then she goes back to being that same bitch that's just upset that she lost Greg. Okay. So I think she's going to be the one to figure it out eventually. There's going to be something said in court or something that is done that makes her think twice about it. And she's going to go look really, really hard because she's starting to find holes. And like she brought it to Sandoval's attention, and Sandoval was like, you're thinking too hard into it. You're looking too hard into it. I'm telling you, she's going to figure it out.
I'm surprised Tasha and Angela haven't fought at this point. Like it's getting closer and closer.
It's because she's an agent.
That's the only reason. But yo, because think about it. The one cool thing about that scene is Tasha just gets random information that we've had for years in the most messed up ways possible. You think about it. She closed the loop for her when she said, when I first walked into that club, I was dating Greg, and you could see it on Tasha's face, like, yo, the dude that is dead used to be your boyfriend. So you could see the same revelation and realization that Angela had on her face, like, yeah, Jamie wouldn't really move like that. Tasha had on her face to say, yo, he might have killed this dude. Yep. In a fit of rage, but who knows? But the thing is, what we know of his character so far is that he doesn't really react like that. No. Emotionally, he doesn't really react like that or snap like that. Right. If you told me who's the one character who would kill somebody because of a love triangle, it's Tommy, and Tommy. Top 3. All Tommy. That's the one. That's the dude that would do that, not Ghost. But even so, you think about it, that's the loop that's been closed this season, where it's been an indirect love triangle between Knox, Angie, and Ghost for this whole time. And now that he's dead, Angie's kind of like on the odd woman out, because Greg is dead and James went back to his wife, so she's out in the cold too. So that's another reason why she's tight. And she's like, yo, I'm getting something out of this. I'm getting some type of retribution. I'm gonna lose my job. Something about it. Right. If I'm gonna lose my job, if I'm gonna go down, I'm taking everybody I can down with me. And I understand that 100%.
You know what pissed me off though? When Sandoval did plant the gun, I got kind of upset because it was such, like, everybody else had somebody with them. Why he doesn't have anybody walking around with him, and he's able to go in that office, nobody sees. Like, I was like, come on, they could have done better with that. Like,
yeah, I could see that, but you could see that they started on the first floor, so he just slipped out. Like, he did it quick because he knew the layout of Truth. He probably knew the layout of Truth already and knew where the office was. It's kind of weird that nobody would see him. I guess when you're getting bum rushed with a warrant, you're not really looking at everybody doing everything. So he probably slipped out and slipped back in, and you see he was moving kind of shifty. But I do get that. Like, they could have probably showed him slipping away and then showed him, going into the office or whatever. Mm-hmm. But they started because Truth it's a club, right? Yeah. And it's a huge club, and his office is on the top floor. So Sandoval slipping away. By the time anybody else got up there to made it, because they're searching floor by floor by floor, going thoroughly, and we don't know why Donovan went with Dre, but probably because it was the office, and then he went and they're checking everything, and they find the gun. And I've seen on social media a lot that I've seen a picture of Sandoval where they highlight the camera There's somebody circling the camera like, yo, there are cameras in the office, and they're probably going to get caught. But the thing is, I don't think everybody remembered the security is tied into when he says. Now that's the other thing. That's another good question.
Wasn't he walking to turn it off before this? That's the thing. Dre hadn't even made it to the office to turn it off yet, because as Sandoval is walking out, Dre is walking into the office.
No, but that's the thing. If it's a centralized security system, all you do is flip a switch and everything goes off.
Oh, okay.
So he went to like the control room or wherever it is and just turned off everything so that he could give them the tapes. That's where it would be. It's not an office by office thing. But that is the lingering question. Does he have a separate system that's not tied to the security system? Is it not tied to it where he has a secondary system? And two, is the security system a part of the surveillance system? So when he says, I'm thinking it is, because if I'm Dre and I work in a club and I'm like, yo, you gotta turn off the security system, like I'm gonna say that to mean everything. I'm not gonna break down security and surveillance. So that's what I'm thinking. But that's a good question to ask.
At some point, I'm telling you, at some point, Angela's gonna end up working with Proctor to get Jamie out.
I wouldn't listen. I wouldn't be surprised at all.
I just have that feeling. I feel like that she's starting to see holes in the case that don't make sense.
Mm-hmm.
Like Jamie would like at some point take your emotions out of it. He's not, no matter if it's Jamie or Ghost, he would never be dumb enough to leave that gun there. Never, never, never.
Oh,
and somebody has to figure that out.
Also, the lost child's name is Yasmin. Yasmin or Yasmin, depending on how, I've seen it pronounced both ways, but like Jasmine with a Y, Yasmin St. Patrick.
Name get called.
Yo, this is your power fun fact for the week. Amaya Tate, Amaya or Amaya, Amya, Amaya. I'll say Amaya. Amaya Tate played Yasmin St. Patrick. I don't even know if it's the same baby. Maybe it is. Who knows? But Yasmin St. Patrick. That's the name of the third child. If you didn't know, if you don't know, now you know. No. So that is her name. But so what about your man Tommy?
Yeah.
Tommy is still doing Tommy things. Doing extreme Tommy things. Extreme Tommy things.
This whole episode, even though it's like supposed to be a lot about Ghost, I focused a lot on Tommy because he had some pivotal scenes in this episode. Like, first of all, my prediction came true about him and Keisha, but
quicker than what I thought. I thought it was going to be like later on in the season, but they got it in an episode and a half in.
When he said, "Well, you got a blizzard."
Oh, he said, "You ever played in the snow?"
She was like, "Nah, because the snow can be unpredictable."
Yo, they're a mess.
You never know how many inches you're gonna get.
Yo, bruh. Yeah, Joe Sikora is the best.
Got a blizzard then.
Yo, he told you got a goddamn blizzard. I started screaming. I was like, "Yo, this dude, own it."
I actually like that relationship, though. I don't know what it is, but I like that relationship.
So you think it's smart for them to be messing around?
I do. I actually like it. And I think a part of it is Tommy, I think he let redhead get way too close. She was way too, and while Keisha is in it, you know what I mean? She doesn't really want to be in it, if that makes sense. Like, she wants no part of it. And I feel like for them, it's a sexual thing, but I feel like they can actually elevate and work together. And I like their relationship. I really do.
It's cool for the show purposes. I do think, I don't know if it's as smart. If one thing Milan did get right is he said your personal relationships can cloud your judgment for what you're doing for the business. And that's just another liability. Who knows if Paytar and the Serbs really did want her dead and it wasn't just a Milan thing. And if it's found out that she's alive and two, she's messing with him, where is that going to put him?
That's very true. She's got a kid.
Yeah. The two, you could bring in the kid also, but that's Tasha's best friend. So if we get to a situation where he's moving drugs in truth, he's doing a lot of stuff behind Ghost's back, even prior to him getting in. So that can seep in another way, and just that whole dynamic between Keisha and Tasha.
Fuck
But
the
what's
best friend
funny,
thing, though.
but
That's BS.
I
Because
mean, I
after
hear
what
you.
Tasha did to her, bruh.
No, I know. But here's the other thing, which was what was funny when she said, anything I like, Tasha takes away. So do you think that could ever go? That's something. No, that's to me is soap opera jumping the shark. If Tasha and Tommy ever started messing around, like that's just too close. That's too much.
I think she said that more so as to say, like, they can make it seem as if they're sleeping with each other as payback. Like she's sleeping with him to really irritate Tasha more so, kind of thing. Because Tasha really she took Sean, and then she's taking her business. Like it's a mess. Tasha, whatever she wants, she goes after. She gets it. I think that's more so what she was trying to say.
Yeah,
I don't want to see Tasha and that's way too far.
Yeah, that's like I think that would be a lot of people,
Like
have legit complaints about Power, but that would probably be the one that makes everybody toss their cable box or your over the top, box or your laptop out the window.
Brother and sister, and then you're sleeping together. That just don't look right.
Tell that to Jamie and Cersei Lannister.
Ooh,
who are I know that that's a rabbit hole. That's a rabbit hole that we don't need to even look at or get on. Speaking of revelations, I didn't realize Tommy never knew that Tasha and Sean had something going on, and Keisha blew that up. He was like, "Wait, they were."
Like they hid that very well.
I mean, Ghost knows because she told him eventually, but he never knew. And it's funny that so much tea was being served out in this episode where we knew it, but I didn't even realize. I didn't think about it that these characters didn't know it. These characters didn't know it at all. So listen, there was some cool revelations that were going on when Keisha was saying how she wanted out because it's getting too hot with Ghost in jail and all the money being laundered through her salon. And when she told Tommy, you don't have a kid, so you would know, like you'd know better if you had a kid. Sad. And lo and behold, he would have if he didn't kill the mother of his child. But there is just little things like that in this episode that was going down. Like the little things were always cool. Like I love Tommy's relationship with his mom. It's so weird, right? Weird, but fun. Like they talk to each other like they're boys. Like when he first of all, the way he was able to slip that tail by giving Karen his mom the car. And he's like, "Yo, drive around the car." And he's like, don't strip the clutch, or we're gonna have a talk. And she's like, "Oh, fuck you, Tommy." He's like, "Fuck you," and then they hug each other. All right, I'll talk to you later. Like I thought that I started yelling because I was like, "Yo."
Do you think he knew that was on there though?
Well, Proctor told him to lay low, and he's been through it before. You think about it, even throughout the season when they thought that he was ghosting, he was getting trailed, and ever since he found out that Angela was a Fed. Right, they know when they have to switch things up, and he gave his mom the car and then switched up. I think in the back of his mind he did, whether it was calculated or it just so happened to happen. I do think it was calculated because he knew that he had to keep the heat off of him for a while. So he gives his mother the car, and then they're gonna have to follow her. So yeah, but the fact that they cursed each other out and then hugged. I started yelling. Like I was like, "Yo, this is like the stereotypical how people say like how all of the stereotypes about how white kids talk to their parents as opposed to like Caribbean kids or whatever. How that's like the image that the Caribbean parents be like, "Oh, Americans are they're so rude to their kids because they just curse each other out," and it's like, like, oh, okay, this is what we're doing. Meanwhile, if I say that, my jaw gets slapped to another state.
Actually, you won't be alive. You'll be dead.
It's like, Jeff can't join us for the podcast this week because he talked back to his mom, and he's currently recovering. But hopefully, we'll see him by episode 6.
He's probably going to be dead by next week.
Right, so right. If they allow her to finish the job, he's not going to be around. You know what my favorite part of the episode was? When Mak sees the press conference that Proctor is giving, and he said, "Yo," he's like, "Yo, did you see this shit? He's race baiting. He's trying to make us all racist." And he's like, nobody in this room is white, and Sax is like, "I'm white," And you realize you look at around and everyone's a person of color but him. And then he starts going into the whole, he said, yo, and I would like to say for the record, all white people aren't racist. And Donovan goes, you're right, not all of y'all. He said, yeah. He said, you know what I'm saying? He said, yeah, not all of y'all. And then he just looks at him and then looks down. And I started screaming because that was, I know people have had issues with Powers writing, but that dialogue was so real. And Sax is such a dick, but he's like a genuine dick. You know what I'm saying? Like
he owns it.
Right. He told him, he was like, yo, why don't we do this? He said, we have black friends. He said, why don't we bring Donovan out there and make him our own Chris Darden? And everybody's looking at him like, yo, what the fuck is wrong with you? And he looks at him and says, yeah, being in front of the camera is not my thing. Yo, he legit said, let's make Donovan our Chris Darden. When he said we have black friends. Yo, I watched it twice. I watched the episode twice and I read it back. I read that shit back. So, that is as real of a conversation when you drop like political correctness and not trying to say the wrong thing, where you have somebody that just says it and then everybody's just looking around like, yo, I can't believe that motherfucker just said that.
I cannot believe and the freaking judge was just like, I suggest you get in the game.
Right. And you knew that was going to happen when he said this dude has the New York Post on speed dial. He's like, yo, dog, do what you got to do. Like And I know I've been making the comparison since last episode, but yo, this shit legit reminds me of Law and Order. Like it's legit like it's like Law and Order, and fucking The Wire. it's like Law, Order, and Crime. Like if the crime part was just highlighted, you know what I'm saying? It's really like that with all the stuff that they're doing, and I think it adds a great dynamic to the show because we're not just getting the same thing. Like we're actually seeing the inner workings of what's going down with this trial. Like this trial is going to go down, and it's going to be a majority of the season, which I like because it switches things up, and it's actually interesting. Different. It's interesting. Like you get so many little tidbits that's building towards it. When Proctor meets with Tommy and tells him, yo, you gotta lay low. They're gonna try to tie you to Jamie to bring y'all down. And meanwhile, he's getting drugs for his wife, or his wife who we saw blacking out on him in the episode. So you're getting a lot of small character building stuff with them, and it's still adding.
Not even with them, but also with JR.
Oh yeah, Julio. You see that he's asserting himself in the organization, but Tommy doesn't like the way that he's doing it. So Tommy goes full Tommy and breaks homeboy's leg for disrespecting dude.
He was like, wait a minute, you mean he did it? Now Julio? He was like, speak, because they wasn't talking, and he was like, say it. Like, what is like? Honestly, I think Julio tries to be a peacemaker instead of demanding respect. And the thing about Tommy was he knew how to get the job done, but he was respected and he was feared. You know what I mean? Those are two traits that we have seen Julio not possess thus far. So I'm waiting to see how after that scene happens, how Julio adjusts, or if it's going to cause more of a, I don't know, like a rift between the two of them. Mm-hmm. So I don't know if it's going to bring them together or if it's going to pull them apart.
Yeah, Julio respects Ghost so much because whatever happened, like because I guess he was with those the Los Toros. He used to be down with, that was his old gang that they were Cristobal was trying to get a new connect, and he saved him from that. I'd love to see that more. Like why is he so loyal to him? Because you could see he's acting like Ghost in the sense of trying to catch more flies with honey than vinegar or whatever the saying is. I butchered. I told somebody we should make lemonade out of lemons. Oh, I said lemons out of lemonade, and I still don't know the right way to say it.
Yeah,
I butchered that. You're supposed to. I think it's you take lemons and make lemonade, or you take your lemons. I said make lemons out of lemonade. They were like,
the fact that you're trying to explain the story and you still can't get it right.
No, I'm showing you the level of wrong that I was in the thing, because it's like, how can you make lemonade out of lemons when they're already made?
You gotta stop
Yo,
You
somebody
gotta
broke
just
it down
stop.
to me, and I was like that gif where with Zach Galifianakis when all of the math symbols was coming around my face. I was like, oh
Everything
wow,
just circling around
yo,
your head. Like, oh
it
shit.
was a long day, yo. It was a real
So
long day.
that's very
It was
clear.
a super long day.
I will say, I think the heaviest and most pivotal moment of the episode was probably at the very end when Jamie, in parentheses, is talking to Tommy on the phone. And, he's asking me, what do you need me to do? What do you need me to do? And the last thing Jamie says is, I need you to take care of my family. And a piece of me broke because I don't know what that means. I don't know if that means that a part of Jamie has given up and he realizes that, yo, this is real. I may be in jail for a very long time, maybe
Hmm.
for my life. Or if that's an underlying message for Tommy to take care of something. I don't know what that means. I'm very confused at this point. Did you take it as a different way or?
It was just powerful. Like, yo, I'm always thinking that it's an ulterior motive that he has from saying
Right.
it, or if it's code. But yeah, to your point, it was kind of powerful that he was saying take care of my family, and it's also ironic that he would tell probably the most reckless dude on the show to take care of his family, but he knows that Tommy has a good heart
Yeah,
and will
he's
do that.
loyal.
But he's also getting advice from Proctor to flip on him
Yeah.
because of the way, because they have a murder weapon, they have DNA, they have fingerprints at the scene where, and if they make that connection to Tommy, more or less they want to make it seem like Tommy gave an order to kill Knox, and that's what he did. Or something to that effect. So he's saying, if I was in your position, I would want my lawyer to tell me what the best move is. And he's saying, we could try to do this, but the best move is for you to flip on Tommy, because that's the only way. Otherwise, you're looking at life. You're looking at, and remember, they got the death penalty on the table.
Yeah.
They have the death penalty on the table, and that was another thing where you saw Angela react, where
Yeah, she was
she
like,
was
"You
like,
going to death
"Oh
penalty?" He goes,
shoot."
"I always ask."
Right. And he's like, yo, we got it. So now that's all on the table. So this is legit life and death for Ghost. So that's on the table. So imagine flipping on the dude who you told to protect your family. I guess it's
And
gonna get real.
and even more so now, this white guy in prison,
Tony
he's starting.
Teresi, yeah.
Yes, he has made that connection because the guy had mentioned Tommy's name, Tommy Egan, and now he's about to make the connection on who Jamie is.
Right. Well, maybe more so. I'm thinking. You see, he protects Ghost from getting
Raped.
cornbreaded from the dude Biscuit. But funny how he pulls out this Batman ninja move on dude. And I'm like,
Yo,
where the fuck did
don't
you learn
touch
that?
me, bruh.
Like,
Don't touch me.
I'm like, this dude is the man of a million talents. But yeah, so he stops that. They know that he's rich, and then he knows that he said that he ran with a dude named Tommy Egan, and he kind of was taken aback. So his Tony's wife is going through cancer and all of that, and he needs money for the experimental treatment. So I'm thinking that there's going to be some type of connection where he does something for him to get money, or he offers protection so that Ghost can pay for that cancer treatment.
Right.
My outside dark horse theory is that the way he reacted to Tommy, could that be Tommy's dad? We never really knew about that, but the way he reacted, could that, because when he said Egan, what is their reaction? Is that his family? Is that his dad? Could that be somebody?
Because he asked, did he
That's my
grow
dark
up with
horse theory.
him? He
Right.
was like, did he grow up with So it's like he knows them from back in the day, but
Right.
to what extent?
Right. So, and Tommy had a rap sheet prior too. So who knows? But that's my dark horse theory, that they could be related in some way, whether it's his
Good job, Jeff.
biological father or something like that, just from the way he reacted. So, we'll never really know. We'll never really know in terms of that.
Good job. I didn't think about that.
I mean, that's why I'm here. That's why I'm here, Chris.
Okay,
You already know that.
let's
You
shut it
you already know
Let's
that.
shut it.
Anything else about this episode that popped out to you?
No, that was it. Those were the last two things that I had. Again, just to mention again, Charlie Murphy just looks so frail. I almost cannot watch his scenes. Like, I have to turn my face it's so sad to see him like that. I don't even like. I don't know if you noticed, but he just looks so
Frail.
skinny and
Yeah,
frail in those
sad.
scenes when he's walking Ghost, and it just breaks my heart to see him like that.
Yeah,
It
it
really
sucks.
does.
It really does suck to see somebody who was so vibrant, and we spoke about that. But I'm glad we get to see him in a role. I'm glad we still
Yeah,
get to
yeah,
see him.
yeah,
He's doing well. He's doing well. For what he's been given, he's doing
yeah.
well. I'm happy for that. It is sad, but I'm happy. I'm just living through it and honoring him by watching that and you know. He gave us. I don't know if that's probably the last thing that he did. I'm not sure, but if it is,
Yeah.
I'll watch it and revel in it because he was a funny dude, like a real funny dude, and killed stuff that he was in. So that's where I'm at with that.
Yeah.
Um, Tariq is a badass. Tariq,
Tariq
I don't know
needs to
why
go
he's
and
running
sit his
around with
ass down.
Kanan. I don't know, like, I love when the kids came up to him, like, yo, that gun. They tie so much stuff that happened throughout the series in this episode in small ways. Like when they were like, yo, that gun you brought to school, was that the one that your father used? And he was like, maybe. And the kids was like, oh, nah, this shit is real. That's when you
Yeah.
troll and take trolling too far.
Yeah, like that's the thing. Like Tariq, I just want him to he needs to get one good ass whooping. Like just one.
I think we're past that. Like he's completely broken bad. He's
He needs
completely
the
broken bad.
thickest
Like
leather belt.
it's a wrap. It's a wrap. Like I don't know what's gonna go down with
It
him.
doesn't matter if Ghost gets out or not. They're gonna have to Tariq. The whole Kanan thing has to be shut down. But I don't even know. Oh, we didn't even talk about the fact that he basically told Dre that you're paying me to keep you alive.
Oh yeah, Dre is going. You could I think Dre. What I see from Dre is he's living out his fantasy. Like he's
Yes.
running truth. He's scheming. He's showing them how to move the drugs and how to keep it legit. Like
Yep.
this is what he feels like he was made for, and he's living it out. But he's also doing too much in the sense of trying to keep Kanan off, trying to keep up. He's keeping up too many lies, and the walls are closing in on him. But he's riding it out. Like this is
He doesn't have a choice.
even when he spoke to Ghost on the phone, it was like, yo, I'm speaking to Karen every day. And he's like, every day. It's like, yeah, man, yo, I got this. Like, this is what we're doing. Like, you could see it in his eyes that he's like, yo, I'm the boss. I'm making this happen. Like, this is me right here. Like, this is what I should have been doing.
I also feel like Ghost is content with that, if that makes sense, because as he's talking to him, he's kind of just smiles and is like, okay, I don't have to worry about truth.
Yeah,
I don't
would
feel
be.
like he feels like he has to worry about anything because he knows Dre got it.
Right. Shit, if I'm Ghost, I want to be the same way because
Yeah.
at least you got something going
And
on.
money's coming in. At least you know that the money is going to your family. They're taken care of on that side of it. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it is what it is. But I just couldn't believe he was like, I thought I'm paying you to stay away from the kids. Kanan said, "Fuck that! I'm paying you. You paying me to stay alive at this point."
Right.
Like,
Yo, that's why it's a slippery slope. You give an inch and Kanan takes the whole country mile. So it's a wrap. Like I'm telling you, I like his character. I keep saying, if he makes it out of this season, he's a superhero. He is a superhero. Trey needs to do the next Black Panther that comes out because he is a superhero. If he survives, if Rotimi needs to be cast in the next Black Panther if he survives the season because he's a superhero. I'm telling you straight up. So yeah. Before we go, the power rankings, the who gotta go power rankings. Somebody gotta die. Yo, I'm gonna keep it real. I think Tariq is jump number 1 for me over Angela. Like it's too much at this point. You disrespecting your mom. You still running with Kanan. You making it hot. Like Angela is probably going to be a strong 2-1 the whole season just from fan reaction alone.
I don't feel like she's that high though. I don't feel like she's gonna die, Jeff. I feel
no.
Like
I mean, who you want to die.
Oh, who you want to? Okay.
It's the intersection of. It's more so who you want to die. It's really who's who. Because if we say who we think is gonna die, I kind of conflate the two at times. But I would say in terms of the passion of wanting a character to get eliminated, yeah, for me, Angela's a strong 2. Like she might be a 1 point. She might be an A to Tariq's A+. Yes, but Tariq is an A+ right now because he's for me.
The only way she
saves
herself is if she saves Ghost. That's it.
I think
You
that's
saved
I
those,
think that's
saved you.
everybody's. I think that's everybody's right now. Yeah,
Yeah.
I feel like Tasha is forever exempt off this list because she's been
Yeah,
dealing
man,
with
she
so
goes
much
through too
shit.
much.
She was dealing with so much shit, but yeah,
Now, when she was
Tariq is my
fucking with
number
Sean,
one.
she could have been on that
Oh yeah,
list. She could
she
have been on
was
that
she was on the list. She was on the list
Yeah.
when the Sean stuff was going down. But yeah,
I do think that Julio is moving up the list too, though. I think it's almost time he better get his shit together.
oh shit, yo, doing too little.
Doing too little. He got
Shit.
too much to be doing so little. So
Well,
he better
if
get it
if he
together.
gets on that list, that's good for his character. So that means he's making even more of an impact. So I do
He
think
needs
there's
to
something
have more
good that
screen
there.
time.
Right,
I like his character.
right. I think there's a lot to be told there, and hopefully we're getting there. Like the more he's taken up on the org, JR's character is gonna do work. So, but yeah, that's it from me. Tariq gotta go. To me,
Yeah,
Tariq
good,
gotta
good.
go, and that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Anything
Yeah.
else from you?
No, I'm good, man. That's it.
All right. Well, that does it for another episode of Power After Hours. You can catch all episodes anywhere where you listen to podcasts. Go to nonstopculture.com/subscribe for all your subscription needs. Nonstopculture.com/power for all previous episodes and how to subscribe directly to the podcast. We're at Nonstop Culture on all social media. And if you have any questions, comments about the show that you want us to read on air and you want us to discuss, hit up PowerAH at nonstopculture.com or info@nonstopculture.com or reach out on social media, whatever have you. Just get your questions in, and we usually record on Mondays, so get it in right after the show or early as Monday morning, and we'll be able to read them off. And leave us a 5-star review. Leave us a 5-star review on iTunes, and we'll read them on the air. Let us know that you're listening, and it's good for us, and it's good for you. I think that's about it. Keep watching. Next episode is July 9th, episode 3, or July 9th at 12:01 a.m. on Demand and the Stars app. So be sure to catch that, and we'll be back for another week. And until next time, we'll catch you later.